Hi friends, Jan of Jan Hicks Creates here, blowing bugs off my hands as I do a stitch with me. This is something back to the future, right? Back to the past, actually. You have my friend Margene Boyd to thank for me doing a stitch with me, and also the fact that I'm in no fit shape at this point to appear on camera. But I did want to get a video done, so here I am stitching away. I know that there are those of you who like Stitch with Me's, and there are those of you who don't, but don't worry, I am going to be showing you a bunch of other things, mostly via video and photos inserted into this video, as well as a few live things. But living as I do on the road, I don't have a lot of stuff with me, so most of it's going to be photos. But anyways, I am Jan of Jan Hicks Creates. For those of you who may be new here, my husband and I live our lives full-time on the road in our little camper, pulled by our Subaru. They are called Kanga and Roo. Kanga is the Subaru, Roo is the trailer. And our cat Nina goes with us everywhere, whether she wants to or not. So, for those of you that have been around for a while, welcome back. I hope you are all doing well. I am finally getting a video done. I actually started a video showing my new releases for Marketplace while we were in France, and the camera died halfway through, and I just couldn't. That kind of thing just makes me so mad that I didn't even look to see how much was done. I was just like, oh, you're just annoying. Never did get back to it. But here I am now, so we're going to talk some about my releases, what I'm doing now, where we are, where we're going, all of that fun stuff. So we are in a campground right now in West Glacier, Montana, right outside of Glacier National Park. So I'm going to apologize right now if you hear any noises, golf carts going by, equipment going by, campers going by, air conditioning coming on, me swatting at a bee. There's a particular bee, we've named him Donald, who seems to like me. I'm going to try and not knock over my camera if I have to wave him away. But anyways, I am stitching outside at the campground, so I apologize in advance if there's any super loud noises that interrupt us. Also apologize for this kind of ad hoc setup. I don't have my overhead clamp with me for my phone, so we're kind of making do with what we have. So I'm kind of perched on a picnic bench right now, straddling a picnic bench. But I think this is going to work okay. My back may not like it by the time I'm done, but you know, that's kind of my life. So, let's see, West Glacier, Montana. We have started a new loop. For those who might not know, our home base is in the greater Phoenix, Arizona area, in Surprise, Arizona, where my father-in-law lives. So we start our loops there out on the road and loop around and then land back at his place for an indeterminate amount of time in between loops. So we just started this loop after Needlework Marketplace ended. And we came up into Utah from Phoenix, stopped in Salt Lake City, and I had the honor to visit Stitchery Express in Clearfield, Utah, just a little bit north of Salt Lake City, and met an amazing group of ladies who were there on a Saturday for their stitching day. It was so much fun. Stitchery Express is a fully stocked, wonderfully stocked, wonderfully run cross-stitch store. It has really everything you could be looking for. Plus the owner, Cindy Sorley, was wonderful to work with. She has some wonderful helpers in the store. It was just an all-around fantastic afternoon at Stitchery Express. So after Stitchery Express, then we headed north a little bit further, stopped in Idaho Falls to visit my friend Margene, and then came up to Montana to Glacier National Park, where we have been for a few days. From here, we continue further north into Canada, where I will be heading to Calgary, and There, I'm going to be visiting the store Traditional Stitches in Calgary, but before I actually get to the store, that is on September 12th from 2 to 4 in the afternoon. But first, I will be spending some time with Jeanette Douglas, who lives in Calgary, so I absolutely cannot wait for that. And then I'm also looking forward to meeting Rose Heck in person at Traditional Stitches. She is somebody, hi Rose, she is somebody who has been my friend in the cross-stitch world for a number of years now, and this will be the first time that we've been able to meet in person, so I am really looking forward to that. That is Calgary. We were supposed to go up to Jasper National Park, north of Calgary, after that, and you may have heard, many of you may have heard, that Jasper suffered from some terrible wildfires earlier this year, and they are just now opening back up and allowing their residents to come back into the town of Jasper itself, and I think just opening up the national park as well. Mike and I did have reservations up there outside of the burn area, but we decided to cancel those, mostly because we canceled them before just a couple days before the national park announced that it was opening again. But you know, it just felt like it would be kind of sad to be there with all the fire damage and everybody getting, of course, they're probably looking forward to having tourists come back. But we decided to opt out for now, and we'll be heading after Calgary back down south a little bit, south of Banff, for about 9 days. And then we'll be heading back to Banff, which is to the west of Calgary, to towards the end of the month. We'll be spending 9 days, I believe, in Banff as well, but we will be there for the Banff stitching retreat, so which is at the end of the month, the last weekend of the month. So looking forward to that as well. After Banff, then we are going to be heading over west, coming down into Washington. I have a son who lives in Washington, Vancouver, Washington, just outside of Portland, Oregon. So we'll be coming down there to visit with him, and I will be visiting Acorns and Threads in Portland then. I don't have anything set up. In fact, we don't have any reservations made for any of that part of the trip yet. So yeah, stay tuned. Carolyn Zook, you and me, I hope we can see each other again. So yeah, that is kind of the big loop at this point. After we visit my son in Washington, then we'll be heading back south, meandering through who knows what areas and who knows what other national parks before we get back to Phoenix, where I hope the intense heat will have dissipated. I don't want to get back there until the heat's gone. The weather here is absolutely perfect, in the low 80s, down into the 50s at night. Just absolutely gorgeous weather here. So let's see, backing up a bit. As I mentioned, we were in France. Many of you know that if you follow me on my other social media channels. I have the sun coming in on me now. I actually backed up to this space to get out of the sun, and it followed me. So it is what it is. So we were in France. The last 3 days we were in Paris. And I took the opportunity to visit the cross-stitch store there. The name of that store is Les Bonheurs des Dames. And it is in this, I don't even know how to describe it, this cute little gallery that has a bunch of other art galleries and restaurants and different cute little stores. It's tucked away back in there. And Les Bonheurs des Dames is also a brand name of cross-stitch designs, but they only sell kits. And so their store is, it's not like it has fabric or floss or anything like that. They only sell kits, and most of the kits are theirs, and they have a wide range, and you'll see the photos as I'm posting them here. They have a wide range of designs, everything from florals to animals to alphabets to full coverage designs. I mean, they really do it all, and their style is just gorgeous, and it is very French, and it is just beautiful. They carry a few other designers that, again, only kits, such as Perman and Perman of Copenhagen and Thea Gouverneur I did get a few things, so I will show you those here in a minute. And I had a wonderful discussion with the owner of the store, kind of about what cross stitch is like in France. And there is a good reason for that that I will share with you later in the video. But very, very interesting to learn just how French stitchers differ from we here in the US. Now, the French cross-stitch industry is not anywhere near as strong as it is here. I would say there are maybe a half dozen cross-stitch stores in the entire country. There are not that many. And like I said, this store really only carries kits. One of the most interesting things, and I think it was as interesting to the woman working there, and she was actually she is the daughter-in-law of the owner. So she, you know, she has a pulse on the store and the history of the store and the industry. We talked about antique samplers and how in this country, one of the big genres and most popular genres of designs are antique sampler reproductions. She said for French stitchers, they are not interested in that at all. That they see that as something that old women do, and it's not something modern and fresh and chic, which I thought was just very fascinating. I showed her a little bit of what I was working on, and her response was, "Oh yeah, that's pretty," but you could tell she wasn't interested in it either. Although Permanent of Copenhagen, you know, that's a lot of what their designs are. So interesting. I think I am off already. Shoot. That should be up there. Da-da. Yeah, that's off. That should be up. Okay, I will be ripping while I'm talking. It's been a long time since I've stitched and talked at the same time. So anyways, it was a very, very interesting visit. And I hope you enjoyed the photos. So we left France on September 22nd, and September 23rd is when Needlework Marketplace started. I suffered some of the worst jet lag I've suffered in a long time. Now, it's been a while since I've done that type of trip. It was a 10-hour flight between Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris to the airport in Phoenix. So it was a long flight. But it was rough. It was multiple days of waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. Yeah, there were naps. But Marketplace rent went really well. Like I said, I did not get a chance to do a video of my new releases, so I'm going to show them to you now. I had 6 new releases for Marketplace. Let's see if we can get this placed correctly. Hold please while I recalibrate. Okay, so that goes there. And yes, I just ripped back on those few stitches since it wasn't that many. If it had been a lot, I would have gotten the seam ripper, but since it was just a few, it's not a big deal to just rip out the stitches. And especially since I'm at basically the end of my thread. So my new releases. Let Flowers Grow. This is my kind of homage to flowers, which I love, and this is kind of what my ideal home looks like, surrounded by flowers of all kinds. A stone walkway, a cute little cottage. The only thing that's missing is a meandering stream. So this particular design went through many iterations and many color schemes before I landed on this, and I'm very happy with it. And this was my most popular design at Marketplace. Next up is Sunflower Medley. This is also one that went through many different iterations before I landed on this. This was my second bestseller. This was supposed to be something with a jack-o'-lantern and sunflowers, and I just have to accept it was supposed to be cute. I just have to accept that I don't do cute very well. I need to just leave cute to all the wonderful designers out there who do a much better job with cute than I ever will. So this is Sunflower Medley, and like I said, this was my second bestseller. Next we have, isn't it awful when your mind goes blank on what you've designed? Next we have, well, shoot. The Mighty Oak. So the Mighty Oak is stitched on this beautiful emerald green, Emerald Sea, I believe is the name of it, by Fair Barefoot. Oh, Donald is here. Yeah, go away, Donald. By Barefoot Needle Arts, and I just love the way the fall colors just pop on this, what would typically be kind of a beachy color of fabric. So next is AK 1885. This is a antique reproduction, and I decided to stitch this with the Gentle Arts Simply Wool threads. There's only 6 colors in this, and I decided to give the wool threads a try for this, and I loved them. Now, because these threads are slightly thicker than most of your cotton flosses, or the silks too, I needed to use a different count of fabric, and so this is stitched on 32 count, which is really kind of the perfect size, the perfect count of fabric for this size of wool thread. Let me just say, it was so nice. It has been so long since I stitched on really anything other than 40 count. I've done a couple 36 count for my recent designs in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, but for the most part I stitch on 40 count. So stitching on 32 count with these wool threads that are thicker, and they're single, they come off the floss card. You stitch them just as they come off the floss card. So it's super easy to stitch with, super easy to see. It was so easy. Yeah, so I really enjoyed them. If you have been thinking about, or you think you might be interested in trying the wool threads, I highly recommend you give them a try. And of course, my AK 1885 is the perfect opportunity to do that. Not too many colors, although you do need two floss cards. It's not really a skein, I guess, or maybe it is, of most of the colors. So that is AK 1885. Next is Gardens of Saxony, and Gardens of Saxony is motifs that I have taken from my big German sampler, CRS 1713. So that is stitched on, it's stitched with over-dyed cotton flosses, and it is stitched on, I'm going to forget because I don't have it right in front of me, Needle Bling's Broomgrass. That's what it is, Broomgrass. 40 count. The colors for this, if you recall, and I will be showing you a picture in just a second of CRS 1713, the colors on that, on the back of that antique that I'm using, were much brighter. The colors on the front were just this very faded, pretty colors, and I knew I wanted to use those colors at some point. So I did in Gardens of Saxony, so that it's a much more muted palette. The fabric, as you can see, is a darker brown, but I really love the richness of those gentle colors against that kind of warm, yummy fabric. So that is Gardens of Saxony, and I made this for people that maybe kind of fascinated by the different motifs that are on CRS 1713, but are not interested in taking on that big of a piece. So this gives you a taste of the motifs and a taste of the sampler without stitching a piece that is 872 stitches long. Yes, that is the finished size of CRS 1713. So last but not least, we have CRS 1713 Part 3. So that means there's only 4 parts in this only. That means I'm almost done with CRS 1713. You can see this is the part that has the gorgeous angels holding the heart. It also has the hunting scene directly beneath the angel, which I always find to be quite an interesting juxtaposition. All the other fun motifs, the flowers, and we also start getting into some of the alphabets for this section. The last section will be all alphabets, and the last section is actually a little bit longer than the first section. Part 1 is the smallest. Part 2 and 3 are about the same, and don't ask me the stitch count off the top of my head, I don't remember. The last part with all the alphabets and borders is going to be the biggest part of it. But I figure alphabets go quickly, these border pieces go fairly quickly. So that I hope to have ready to release in December, and then CRS 1713, the complete piece, will be done. I plan on doing Christmas ornaments with the animals, and who knows what other inspiration will come out of that great big sampler. All right, so those are my releases. Like I said, Let Flowers Grow and Sunflower Medley were my 2 most popular, and I want to thank those of you who pre-ordered with your shops, and of course I want to thank all the shops for their support, their ongoing support of me. And of course, if you missed any of these, they are available in your favorite shops. See, they can get them either through me or through Hoffman. Eventually they'll be able to get all of them. Right now they can only get AK 1885, CRS 1713, and Gardens of Saxony, because the other 3 are exclusives for those who actually attended Needlework Marketplace for the shops. So, Needlework Marketplace was over. We got on the road. We got on the road to head out on this loop. Oh, got on the wrong side of that thread. So what happened then? Let's see. I think that's the main things I wanted to tell you. I did get some goodies in the mail while we were over in France. I got 2 new samplers. This one is called Maria Burgess. It doesn't have a date on it, does it? Her work, age 7 years old. 7 years old. Look at this. It's amazing. And this, if I remember correctly, obviously I don't have it with me in the trailer, right? But if I remember correctly, these are tiny little stitches. And there's over 1 on the birds. There might be over 1 on that house as well. There's over 1 on the words. Yeah, this is amazing. The colors are kind of hard to see, but there's some really delicate blues and pinks. I have not taken this out of the frame yet. I don't know that I will, because I plan on using the colors on the front because I think they're really pretty. You can see there I love the saying on this on cruelty to animals, not one that I'm aware of that you see very often. So that's one of the new samplers. And then this is the other one. No, it's really hard to read, and I didn't write anything down about it. I don't know whether it actually has the name of the stitcher on it. But I just loved it. There's a lot of stitch loss on it, so I will be needing to figure out a lot or fill in a lot when I'm charting this. I will be using these colors. This photo shows the back, and you can see the colors are a little brighter. This is wool. So wool has a tendency to retain its color more than cotton or silk. So I'll be basically using these colors, and when I go to chart it. I got the Threads of History Club kit from Country Sampler. Julia Rochelle de la Mer, a Guernsey Channel Island sampler. So that's kind of cool. This is a beautiful sampler, and I know a lot of people have gotten it, and quite a few people are starting to stitch it for Sampler September. I also got a couple more of the layer cakes from Fat Quarter Shop. I got more of Fat Quarter Shop's Fine Floss Club packs. Those are the NPI silks. I got more of Vicki Clayton's variegated silks. So there was quite a lot of goodies to open up when we got home from France. All right, so getting to the end of what I wanted to talk to you about, I'm going to show you some sneak peeks, and then I'm going to talk to you about some personal news, which a lot of you have already seen if you follow me on other social media, Instagram, my Facebook page. You know my news. But first, some sneak peeks. So this is a Quaker piece that may be done for December, but I'm not sure. That's all I'm going to show you. Only 2 colors. It is Simply Shaker by Gentle Arts Heirloom Gold and Really Tealy by Classic Colorworks. Really Tealy is one of my all-time favorite colors. I know that is a shock to many of you. And yes, I'm being sarcastic. Let's see, we have, and excuse this strange view you have now of the stand and my leg as I perch on the picnic table bench. Sun is shining pretty brightly through the trees right now, so not the best light. This is Rose Lejeune 1900. This is the French sampler that I worked on the entire time we were in France, and a lot of the time since we've gotten home. There's a lot of pink in it, a lot of pink. This is the one I will show you the photo of the original here. This is the one that I posted, and I said I will not be using these colors. And a lot of you said, oh, but the pink's so pretty. So it does have a lot of pink, but just not that bright, searing, eye-watering pink. But I love how the bird came out. I think that is so cool. So that is, this one I think will be ready for December, a December release. This is a new series that I have started called 4-Letter Words. So as you probably surmised, there will be a different 4-letter word. It's a series of 4 different designs. And I also am going to have a set of smalls that will have some additional 4-letter words on it. So I don't know when these will be ready, but they're all charted. They'll come out at some time in the not too distant future. This is actually my in the car stitching project, because when I'm in the car, yeah, I would say 40 to 50% of the time, I have a cat in my lap. There's some days that she spends a lot of time in her crate on the back seat, and other times that she just wants to lay in my lap. So I need a small project where I don't have a lot of fabric, since I stitch in hand, so I don't have a lot of fabric laying down on a very, very, very furry cat. I have also, just today, picked up my knitting again. When the days get cooler, my brain says it's time to knit. This is a cowl that I've been working on for quite a while. The yarn, it's called patina. The name of the pattern is the patina cowl. And the yarn is Timber Yarns. This is a mini yarn set that I got last year at Jacob Palooza in Canada. So I'm using the mini skeins for this, and it feels so good to be knitting again. Today's Sunday, in case I didn't mention that, and this probably won't get uploaded today. And I just feel like, I need some downtime to just get some knitting done, to have my hands do the knitting, because that's one of the things that they love to do. All right, so that's the sneak peeks of up and coming projects. Now, personal news. There may be those of you that want to jump out now, especially if you know my news. But the news is that we are moving, Mike and I are moving to France. This trip over there, I didn't say anything about it before we left, and as we were there, about why we were there. To many people, it just seemed to be a rather extended vacation, but it was actually a scouting trip. We had narrowed down the areas that we decided we would like to live in, And so this was a chance to be on the ground in those areas and get a real feel for what those areas are like, what it would feel like to live in a foreign country like that, where you know next to nothing of the language. We are learning though. And you know, just to see what it would feel like. Is this something we really want to do? And the answer is a resounding yes. We narrowed it down. We visited, let's see, we visited Brittany, the Upper Pays de la Loire, and Normandy. And the winner is Lower Normandy. There is an area there that is very, very hilly, just gorgeous rolling green hills that we totally fell in love with. There are many reasons why we want to move to France, not the least of which is that I can eat the bread there. If you have been with me for a while, you have probably heard me talk about the fact that I am gluten intolerant. I am not in France. Well, I shouldn't say that. There are certainly a couple things that triggered some reactions. I do not get gut reactions. I get very painful skin reactions. And I did have a couple reactions to unknown somethings. We believe it was lower quality of wheat in like packaged hamburgers or possibly in the more rustic breads. But I had no reaction to the croissants. I had no reaction to the baguettes. I had no reaction to pizza dough. I had no reaction to eclairs. I had no reaction to pain au chocolat. So, yeah, I'm moving to France for the bread. There's many other reasons, but that is certainly one of the wonderful side effects. So anyway, we are looking at being over there or heading over there sometime around the end of March next year. I do want to be here for Nashville Needlework Market, and I do plan on coming back every year for Nashville Needlework Market and visiting family, especially my father-in-law. He will still be in Phoenix, and friends. We have an awful lot to do between now and then, not the least of which is to go through our stuff in our storage unit in Phoenix and decide what is worth the cost to ship over there and what do we want to get rid of. So that's going to be a major challenge. All of my cross stitch and knitting and other craft stuff will be going with me. We will be buying a house there. We will be renting for the first few months until we find a house, and then everything will get shipped over. Everything will get shipped over probably when we leave and get put in storage there. So yeah, lots to do. We have to work out visas. We will need to go over on work visas since Mike and I will be continuing to work. Yeah, lots to figure out, but we are beyond excited. Yeah, there's just no words for how good we think this move will be for us. So anyways, let me know if you have any questions. I think that's about all I have for you today. Yeah, I don't know when I'll be back. Mike and I need to do a video for our travel channel that shows more about France, and then, you know, the other things we're doing after France. I got a few comments last time on my last video that the travel portion at the beginning was too long, that some people thought they had clicked on a travel video rather than a cross-stitch video. I do kind of apologize for that, but kind of not, because this is a huge part of my life, and I know that there are an awful lot of you who really like seeing the parts of the country and really the parts of the world that you wouldn't get a chance to see otherwise. So I will try and keep it less. Of course, I haven't done it yet, but I will try to keep it a little bit shorter this time, but there is going to be travel, or there was, because you've already seen it, travel video on at the beginning of this. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you all are doing well. Like I said, let me know if you have any questions about anything, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.